What's up, Leeds United faithful? Your boy is back with some absolutely insane updates that are going to shake Elland Road to its very foundations. And trust me, you're going to want to sit down for this one because what I'm about to tell you will either have you jumping off your couch in celebration or throwing your remote at the TV in pure frustration. Listen up, White's Army. We've got three absolutely earth-shattering pieces of news that have just dropped, and they're all connected in the most dramatic way possible. We're talking about a Dutch defender whose future at the club is hanging by a thread despite being called a cornerstone by our gaffer, an Austrian centre-back who's finally getting shipped out for peanuts after costing us a fortune, and a Welsh wizard who's just secured his long-term future at Elland Road in a move that's left our Premier League rivals absolutely fuming. Before we dive into this emotional rollercoaster, smash that like button if you bleed white. Hit that notification bell because you do not want to miss any updates about our beloved Leeds. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you even doing with your life? Subscribe now. The first bombshell involves a player who's lifted 2 championship trophies with us, but suddenly finds himself in the most precarious position imaginable. Then we've got a defensive flop who's about to leave for a fraction of what we paid. And finally, a contract saga that's just been resolved in the most unexpected way possible. Are you ready to have your mind absolutely blown? Because what I'm about to reveal about our defensive dilemma will have every Leeds fan either celebrating in the streets or questioning everything we thought we knew about our squad planning. Pascal Struijk. That's right, Leeds United faithful, our Dutch defensive stalwart has been absolutely crucial to our success over the past few seasons. But here's the absolutely mental part that's got everyone at Elland Road talking. Despite being one of only 3 players to win 2 championship titles with Leeds alongside Patrick Bamford and Illan Meslier, his future is now shrouded in uncertainty. Picture this scenario, White's Army. We've just signed Jacob Bijol and Sebastian Bornau to bolster our defensive options for the Premier League, and suddenly the writing might be on the wall for our beloved Struijk. This is a player who's worn the captain's armband, who Daniel Farke himself called a cornerstone of our future, and who brings that silky passing range that's arguably the best among all our centre-backs. But here's where it gets absolutely bonkers. Leeds are facing PSAR concerns, and Struijk could be the sacrificial lamb we need to balance the books. We're talking about a player we signed for virtually nothing back in 2018, meaning any sale would be pure profit for our financial situation. The Athletic's Bjorn Cross is even suggesting that on paper, Bijol and Joe Rodon might be our strongest centre-back pairing moving forward. The cruel irony here is that Struijk can also operate at left-back, giving us tactical flexibility that's invaluable in the Premier League. His composure on the ball and ability to pick out passes from deep positions have been instrumental in our build-up play. Yet here we are, potentially sacrificing our most versatile defender for the sake of financial compliance. What makes this situation even more heartbreaking is that Adam Pope and Bjorn Cross are both raising concerns about his future, despite Farke's previous comments about him being essential to our plans. The gaffer literally said it would be crazy not to talk about Struijk's importance and called him indispensable. Now, with 4 centre-backs potentially competing for 2 spots, something's got to give. Can you believe this madness? A player who's been instrumental in our rise back to the Premier League, who's proven his worth time and time again, suddenly finds himself potentially surplus to requirements. But here's the kicker that's going to leave you absolutely speechless. Meanwhile, the Max Wober saga has finally reached its inevitable conclusion, and Leeds United faithful, this is both a relief and an absolute embarrassment all rolled into one. Florian Plettenberg from Sky Germany has just confirmed what we all saw coming. Wober's move to Werder Bremen is a done deal for a pathetic low single-digit million fee. Let me break down just how catastrophic this signing has been for our beloved club. We're talking about a player who's managed just 28 appearances in 2.5 years. That works out to a staggering $357,000 per game. Can you wrap your head around that number, White's Army? We could have bought a small house for what each of his appearances cost us. This is the same Wober who was supposed to be Jesse Marsch's defensive solution, a versatile Austrian international who could play centre-back, left-back, or even in midfield. His debut against Cardiff in the FA Cup showed glimpses of what he could offer, completely changing the game when he came on as a substitute in holding midfield. Sonny Perkins scored his only Leeds goal that night, and Wober was instrumental in that late equaliser. But injuries, poor form, and that devastating relegation clause activation that saw him flee to Borussia Mönchengladbach turned this into one of our worst signings in recent memory. The most frustrating part? Boba has maintained his place in the Austrian national team throughout this entire debacle. He's clearly got the talent, but something just never clicked at Elland Road. 2 knee operations didn't help his cause, and Daniel Fark only managed to get 9 appearances out of him last season. The fact that he's joining Werder Bremen, who finished an impressive 8th in the Bundesliga last season, shows that other clubs still see value in him. It's just another reminder of how transfers can go horribly wrong, even when the player has obvious quality. Wobe will be reunited with the German top flight, where he previously had that loan spell at Gladbach. Now he's heading to Elia Gruev's old club Werder Bremen on a 4-year deal until 2029, and honestly, good riddance. This is addition by subtraction at its finest, but the financial loss is going to sting for years to come. But wait until you hear about the contract bombshell that's just exploded. And here's the absolute game changer that's going to have every Leeds United fan losing their minds with excitement. Dan James has just signed a long-term contract extension that's left Everton and David Moyes absolutely seething with rage. This is the Welsh wizard who was nominated for Championship Player of the Season after delivering 21 goals and assists in just 37 appearances. We're talking about a player who went from being loaned out to Fulham under Jesse Marsch to becoming one of our most crucial attacking weapons under Daniel Fark. And now, instead of the 2-year extension that was initially reported, James has committed his long-term future to Elland Road. Here's what makes this absolutely beautiful, White's army. Everton were circling like vultures, with Angus Kinnear supposedly leading their charge to snatch our Welsh speedster. They thought they could capitalise on his contract situation, with James entering the final year of his current deal, but Leeds have pulled off a masterstroke by securing his services well into his 30s. The timing couldn't be more perfect either. We're facing Everton in our very first Premier League fixture at Elland Road on August 18th, and James will be wearing our white shirt, not theirs. Can you imagine the look on their faces when they see him tearing down that wing in front of our faithful supporters? It's going to be absolutely poetic justice. Remember, we paid Manchester United 25 million for James back into one under Marcelo Bielsa, and after a rocky start that included that loan spell at Fulham, he's finally justifying that massive investment. His pace, work rate, and improved end product have made him absolutely undroppable under Fark. The transformation has been nothing short of remarkable. What's even more interesting is that Jack Harrison could potentially face us in that Everton fixture, having spent the last 2 seasons on loan at Goodison Park. But while Harrison's future remains uncertain, James has nailed down his place as our first choice winger and secured his long-term future. This is what proper squad planning looks like. While we're making tough decisions about players like Struijk and finally cutting our losses with disasters like Wobe, we're also securing our genuine match winners for the long haul. James joins new signings Bijol and Bornau as the only players contracted beyond 2028, showing just how highly the club values his contributions. So there you have it, Leeds United faithful. 3 stories that perfectly encapsulate where we are as a club right now. We're making hard decisions, cutting our losses, and securing our future stars. The question is, are we building a squad capable of staying in the Premier League, or are we setting ourselves up for another rollercoaster season? What do you think about Struijk's uncertain future? Should we cash in while we can, or is selling a cornerstone player a mistake we'll regret? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for all the latest Leeds United updates.